Hey folks, Jason the Dead Card Gamer here to teach you a new game. Today we're going to learn how to play the Simpsons trading card game. This one's from Wizards of the Coast, who brought us Magic the Gathering obviously, and several other games. And this one is not super strategic by any means, but it is a whole lot of fun, especially with a big group of people. In the rulebook they actually recommend that you play with 3 to 5 players, and I totally agree. This game isn't bad 2 players, but it is a lot more fun with more people, and you'll see why. This game has 3 different types of cards. Characters, which can be either a main character or just a regular character. Locations, and action cards. Since this is a pretty straightforward game, there aren't a whole lot of different parts of the card. Character cards have their name at the top and their traits at the bottom. That's really all you need to know. There's character art, there's a quote, but they're not essential to gameplay. They're just cool. Main characters have the exact same things. Name at the top, traits at the bottom. However, all the main characters don't count as one of your 2 characters per turn. And this is straight from the rulebook, because the stars are better than the rest of us. Scene cards have their name across the top, and right underneath the art, you'll see a list of traits. These are the traits that are used to complete the scene, and any other trait is used to trash the scene. To the left of those traits, you'll see a star with a number in it that says complete next to it. That is how many of those traits need to be on characters on that scene in order to complete it. On the opposite side, you'll see the trash number. That's how many characters you need on that scene that don't match any of the traits on the scene to trash it. And some of the scenes will have an ability underneath. This might be something that triggers when it's completed, and it might be something that affects the game as a whole. The action cards in your deck will be specific to the star character you use and have some sort of one-off ability that allows you to get further in the game. It'll have a title across the top, it'll say action right underneath that, and on the bottom it'll tell you not only what the action does, but when in the game you can play it. Now that we know the different kinds of cards and their parts, let's look at the structure of a turn. Each turn, there are a number of different things you can do, and you can do these things in any order. You can, if you don't already have a scene in play a scene. You can play a character to a scene, and you can do this twice a turn. 2 characters per turn, except for your star character, as we saw earlier. You can complete a scene, as long as it has enough characters that match the traits on it. You can trash a scene, as long as it has enough characters that don't match the traits on it. Or you can play an action card. And you can do these in any order you like throughout the course of your turn. Then, at the end of your turn, you discard any cards you don't want and draw back up to 6 cards. When playing cards to a scene, you want to make sure that whatever character cards you play face you, like so that each player knows whose character is what. This scene will take characters that are either uptight or lackeys to complete. Old Chief Wiggum here doesn't have either of those properties, so he is going to count toward trashing it. However, someone like Rod and Todd Flanders are upstanding, uptight, oddball kids. Now, they don't match both of those traits, and they do have some other stuff, but they are at least uptight, which is good enough to work with the scene and work toward completing it. Now let's look at completing and trashing scenes and how you score points. For this example, we're going to use Mr. Burns' Office, which requires us to have rascal or lackey characters to complete it. It takes 4 to complete and 4 to trash. Now, let's say that I am over here playing as Mr. Burns, and I'm playing against Nikki and Justin. Now, if I decide on my turn that I want to complete this scene, I will display which of the characters I'm using to complete. I'll use Mr. Burns, Snake, Smithers, and Mayor Quimby. So, that gives us the 4 we need. The scene's complete. Scoring goes as this. If I played Mr. Burns' Office, I get that point. I used my characters, which is great and all, but doesn't get me an extra point. However, I did use one of Nikki's characters, so that means she gets a point. So, 1 point to me, 1 point to her. And because I had the most characters used to complete the scene, that gives me a bonus point. So in this case, I get 2 points, Nikki gets 1 point, Justin, he gets nothing. Now, let's say that it is Justin's turn, and he chooses that he wants to trash the scene. I still get 1 point because it's my scene. Then Justin will say he needs to use Chief Wiggum, Dr. Hibbert, Lisa, and Maggie to complete this scene. Well, to trash this scene. So, he will get 1 point because he has characters in it. Nikki will get 1 point because she has characters in it. But, even though Justin has the most characters, he won't get the bonus point because you don't get bonus points for trashing scenes. In addition, if this was a scene with a triggered ability, almost all of those trigger off of completing scenes rather than trashing them. So, trashing is probably not the best way to get points, but it is the best way to keep people from getting points. In this case, I would have got 2 points from this card, and now Justin, by trashing the scene, has prevented me from doing that and only let me get 1. Also, if this has a completion bonus ability that does something awesome, maybe somebody doesn't want that to happen. So Nikki might complete the scene so that she gets that trigger bonus, or Justin might trash the scene so that nobody gets that trigger bonus. Characters and scenes in this game aren't unique. There's less than 80 character cards and only 5-star characters. So without that rule, you wouldn't be able to play the game too well. If I'm playing a Homer deck, you sit down and you've got a Homer deck, no big deal. We can both play Homer. We can both put Homer on the same scene. We can both have our own Moe's Tavern. Because, I don't know, cartoon logic. Once a scene is completed and everybody's scored their points, the scene card, the character cards, all that stuff just gets discarded. Goes each to its owner's respective discard piles. The first person to 7 points wins, and that's pretty much how you play The Simpsons. Seriously, that's it. Building your own deck. Pretty straightforward in this one. You gotta have 40 cards, 3 card play sets. Your star character and your action cards all have to match. And you have to have a minimum of 9 scenes. Once again, I really recommend playing this game with as many people as possible. There are 5 star characters in the game, and by all accounts, Krusty is a little bit overpowered because of his actions. So you may want to try and figure out a way to not use him, or limit his powers in some way. I don't know. So there you go. That's how you play The Simpsons. Once again, I'm Jason, the Dead Card Gamer. Thanks for watching this video. Please like it and give us a subscribe, and maybe check out some of our other videos. We've got a couple other how-to videos and a whole lot of unboxings. So thanks, and have a great day.